Well, Mark Lovell is a German football writer who's followed the club closely over the years and joins us now. Mark, really good to talk to you. Has this start to the season been a surprise for many people across Germany?
Good evening once again. Well, Niko Kovac and Bayern Munich started the season off in impressive form, 7 wins in succession. And as you just said, Bayern have won the Bundesliga 6 years in a row. So, you know, this mini crisis has come as a surprise because we're used to Bayern Munich pushing everyone aside. And this, 4 games without a win is unprecedented in recent years. So it is a surprise, of course.
You say the word mini crisis there. Has it got potential to become a full-blown crisis?
Absolutely. I was thinking back to Carlo Ancelotti. He was sacked after 2 games without a win, losing 3-0 at Paris Saint-Germain after a Champions League defeat. So 4 games without a win has to be considered a mini crisis. But you have to give some, a little bit of time to Niko Kovac in his first season at the club. Ancelotti, of course, won the Bundesliga in his first season and was fired early on in his second season at the club. So I think that the hierarchy will give Kovac some time to sort things out and turn things around.
They're obviously still relying on stars like Arjen Robben, Frank Ribery. Do they have a long-term plan, does it seem, as a club, for what's going to happen when these players move on and retire?
Oh, absolutely. Ribery's 35, Robben 34, the longest-serving players at the club. They had the players to cover for their absences. Kingsley Coman was injured early on the season. Bayern decided not to strengthen their squad, which has to be criticised. And they've had a couple more unfortunate injuries. But if they're relying on the likes of Ribery and Robben at their advanced age, something's gone wrong. You have to criticise the way they've done their business over the summer. They've failed to strengthen their squad, and now with the pressure of the downturn results and the injuries on top, and certain players not performing, they're not getting the results that we're used to.
James Rodriguez has apparently made some rather pointed comments about Niko Kovac. You say that you expect him to have the support of the hierarchy, the coach, over the next few weeks. What is the atmosphere like amongst the playing staff and the coaching staff at the moment, and around the club as a whole?
Well, I think you just have to play it cool. Uli Hoeneß, the president, says he's going to defend the coach, Niko Kovac, to the death. So he's going to give him some time. But you have to say that he's been left in the lurch a little bit by the top players. Lewandowski hasn't scored for a while, and James has failed to produce the form that he did under his mentor, Jupp Heynckes. Jupp Heynckes was able to really communicate well with James and speak Spanish all the time, make him feel at home. And James hasn't performed this season, and it's obvious that he's not so happy at the club this season. And you got these agent-driven rumours from Jorge Mendes that he wants to go back to Real Madrid, and he's not happy at the club. These are the sort of things you only hear when Bayern are not getting the wins that they usually used to gaining on the pitch. So there's a few stories going around at the club that we call FC Hollywood in Munich. But a few wins, and everything will be back to normal. Go back to last season, Bayern were 5 points behind Borussia Dortmund going into the international break. They're only 4 points behind. I don't think it's the time to panic. But this is a much better Borussia Dortmund side this time around. So it's good to see for the Bundesliga, because we're used to, Bayern running away with it at the top of the table. So I think this year we're going to have a clash for the Bundesliga title between Borussia Dortmund, who've improved a lot.
It's certainly more open, Mark. I have to ask you before we let you go, the players attended Oktoberfest after that 3-0 defeat to Borussia Mönchengladbach. Was that a PR disaster in some respects, or was it a case of being damned if they do and damned if they don't?
The latter. I mean, it's an annual visit. They get dressed up in their Oktoberfest uniform with the lederhosen. It's very much a marketing appointment as well for the sponsors. They were going win or lose. Obviously, with the 3-0 defeat against Borussia Mönchengladbach, the beer may have left a nasty taste in the mouth. But I expect Bayern to get back to winning ways after the international break.
OK, Mark, thank you very much for your insight this evening.